Kelly Krauskopf, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you were perfectly fine when Fever fans were bending over, kissing your ass, applauding your decisions, you better stand here and take it when Fever fans are pissed off, upset, and are voicing their displeasures. If our voice mattered that much then, you best believe it matters that much now.
The president of the Indiana Fever recently made statements about Caitlin Clark that set the entire basketball community ablaze. And believe me, the reaction was immediate and unforgiving. When a team publicly downplays the value of its star player, the universe tends to respond in dramatic fashion. This fallout is beyond chaotic. What do you think happens when a franchise tries to diminish the significance of the very athlete bringing them relevance?
Fever brand is going to get as big and go as far as Caitlin Clark takes it. And I don't think Kelly Krauskopf understands that. And the latest video that is surfacing, floating around, being consumed by Fever fans across the globe, because this is an international superstar they have on their hands. This may have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Apparently, someone within the Fever organization thought it would be a fantastic move to go on record explaining how their long-term vision involves building a brand that goes beyond Caitlin Clark. Because nothing says brilliant marketing strategy quite like minimizing the individual who dragged your franchise out of total obscurity, right? The remarks came from the top, and I'm being very kind using the word leadership here, where they expressed aspirations to build a legacy brand like Apple, all while insisting they don't want to lean too heavily on their cornerstone athletes. And let's be real, when they say foundational players, what they really mean is the only reason people even care about this team.
That we want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise. I mean, this is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, and a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. I mean, we have a real opportunity here.
Let me walk you through just how clueless these comments really are. This executive is talking about building consistent fan engagement and growing the franchise, while also implying that Caitlin Clark, the main reason for their current relevance, shouldn't be at the center of attention. That's like if McDonald's decided they want to be recognized for salads and started hiding the Big Mac. Fans instantly picked up on the disrespect. Social media went wild, with people calling out the Fever for sounding completely disconnected from reality. And frankly, the backlash was well earned.
This isn't the NFL. This is the WNBA. A star is going to take the Fever where the Fever want to go. And that star is Caitlin Clark. Kelly, you're talking about being a leading brand. You're talking about sustaining growth, sustaining the interest level in the franchise. You know how that happens? Is if Caitlin Clark stays in Indiana, is if Caitlin Clark is participating in an entertaining and exciting brand of basketball that doesn't take away and diminish her skill sets, that doesn't turn off fans that have been following her for the last 3 to 5 years.
Here's what these so-called visionary executives seem to forget. Before Caitlin Clark's arrival, the Fever were lucky to get 4,000 fans to show up, and that was considered a good turnout. Their TV numbers were abysmal. The team barely existed in the national sports narrative. Then Caitlin shows up, and suddenly they're filling every seat in the arena, shattering attendance records, showing up in nationwide sports headlines. Yet somehow, these folks believe all of this success is thanks to their incredible front office strategy, not the magnetic superstar who everyone's tuning in to watch. It's almost comical how disconnected that mindset is. And let's talk about their Apple analogy. Apple succeeded because they embraced groundbreaking products like the iPhone and iPad, not because they tried to downplay them. They centered their entire identity around innovation. The Fever should be doing the exact same thing with Caitlin Clark. Historically, great franchises have always gone all in on their stars. When you've got Michael Jordan, you don't make him just another guy. You build everything around him. When you have Magic Johnson, you don't pretend the team would have thrived without him. The Lakers didn't become Showtime by luck. The Bulls didn't become an international sensation by chance. Those organizations knew they had rare talent and crafted their entire brand around showcasing it. Meanwhile, the Fever's front office is out here acting like they missed the memo. Instead of realizing they struck gold with Caitlin, they're worried about everyone getting a turn in the spotlight. They seem more invested in balancing egos than building championships. Now, let's focus on the timing of these comments, which makes things even worse. This came while fans are watching Caitlin Clark struggle in a system that doesn't amplify her strengths. She's fighting just to get touches, playing with teammates who refuse to share the ball, operating in an offense that looks tailor-made to limit her. So, what does management do? They go public with statements that confirm every concern fans already have. It's like they're pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. The backlash hit fast and hard. Supporters started questioning whether the Fever even deserve a player like Caitlin Clark. People started speculating that she may be better off elsewhere once her contract gives her options. It's the exact opposite of what a franchise should be trying to build. And here's the twist. Those fans are right to be worried. Clark isn't going to waste her best years on a team that isn't serious about success. She's too competitive and too talented to stick around if she's not being supported. Now imagine if this mess were happening in New York or Boston. The media would be tearing the organization apart. There would be non-stop pressure for immediate change. But since this is happening in Indianapolis, management thinks they can dodge accountability. Let's state the obvious. People are showing up to Indiana Fever games for one reason: Caitlin Clark. Every TV viewer tuning in is watching because of what she brings to the court. Every viral highlight, every article, every buzzworthy moment, it all centers around her. To suggest otherwise is not only dishonest, but flat out insulting to everyone paying attention. Fans aren't clueless. They know why the WNBA is suddenly booming in popularity. And guess what? It's not because of smart leadership decisions from front offices. Even the recent emergency contact video makes this look worse. When your own teammates don't even name your franchise cornerstone as someone they'd call in a pinch, and your executives go public saying they don't want to rely on her too much, that's a clear sign the organization is clueless about what they have. Here's where the karma kicks in. Almost immediately after those comments surfaced, the Fever started feeling the blowback. Fans began second-guessing their loyalty. Reporters started pointing out the broken logic. Even other players around the league appeared to notice how chaotic things are behind the scenes. The Fever quickly went from a feel-good story to the franchise people pity. It's probably not what the PR team had in mind when they decided to speak up. And if we're being real, here's what this all means. The Fever lucked into getting Caitlin Clark. She entered the draft and landed in their lap. But instead of appreciating that stroke of luck, they're acting like it was all earned through great planning. Truth is, without Clark, the Fever would still be forgotten, playing in near-empty gyms, ignored by national media, barely surviving financially. She rescued this team, and their response is to diminish her role publicly? That kind of thinking is how franchises implode. When you've got a generational player, you don't take it for granted. You don't assume they'll stick around forever. You create a system that maximizes their talents and proves how much they matter. And let's not forget, there are cities like Dallas or Houston that would love to build their entire brand around a player like Caitlin Clark. Those places would put her at the center of everything. They'd revamp their team, their marketing, their culture, all to make sure she thrives. Meanwhile, the Fever are talking about being like Apple while ignoring their equivalent of the iPhone. You really have to wonder how some of these people got promoted into decision-making roles. Now throw in the All-Star Game situation. When Sonia Citron openly talks about how excited she is to share the court with Caitlin Clark, it proves something. Players around the WNBA understand Clark's value. They want to play with her. They see what she brings. Yet her own team seems more worried about making sure she doesn't steal the spotlight. It's this backwards mentality that's going to bite them if they don't correct course fast.